5mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, and some yarn. These are the Pound of Love yarns. I've used about half of each of them, and then now I'm going to be using the other half. I will give an approximation of how much down in the description box. To begin, you will create a slip knot. You will chain up 4. You'll go back into the first chain there and slip stitch to form a ring. Chain up 2. This will not count as a stitch. You will insert 3 double crochets into the center of the ring. You will chain up 2. You will insert 3 more double crochets into the center of the ring. Chain 2. Insert 3 more double crochets into the center of the ring. Chain 2, and then you will insert 3 more double crochets into the center of the ring. You are starting a granny square. Chain the last 2 there. Then you will skip the first chain 2, and then in that first stitch there, you will slip stitch. And that's how you close this round. I'm going to be switching colors, so you will just fasten off and then attach your new color. You will attach your new color. You will pull through to get it started. Chain up 2. This will not count as a stitch. You will insert 3 double crochets into this corner space there. You will chain up 2. This will form another corner. Then you will insert 3 more double crochets into the same space there. Chain 1, skip the next 3 stitches, and then in the next corner you'll do the exact same sequence as you did over here. You will insert 3 double crochets. Chain up 2, and then insert 3 more double crochets into the same corner space. You will chain 1, skip the next 3 stitches, then you will repeat this all the way around. Then I'll meet you back once you have done so. Okay, so I did all 4 corners and I chained up 1. I'm going to skip the last 3 stitches. I'm also going to skip the first chain 2 there, and then in the first stitch, I will slip stitch. Round 2 is done. Again, I will fasten off and attach a new color. I'm actually just going to use this previous color because I'm just using 2 for this sweater. Okay, so I attached a new color at the corner there. Again, you will pull through to get started. Chain up 2. This will not count as a stitch. You will insert 3 double crochets into this corner space. chain up 2, insert 3 more double crochets into the corner space, chain up 1, skip the next 3 stitches. In this chain 1 space, you will insert 3 double crochets, chain 1, skip the next 3 stitches, and then in this corner space you'll create another corner by inserting 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 more double crochets. Again, you'll just chain 1, skip the next 3 stitches, and then in that chain 1 space you'll insert 3 double crochets. You'll repeat this all the way around, and then I will meet you back. Okay, so I did my last chain there, and I'm going to skip these 3 stitches and then slip stitch the first chain, or the first stitch there, to close this round. You should have 3 rounds of a granny square. You will create 24 of these squares, and once you have 24 of them, I will meet you back and show you how to attach them. After you have created 24 granny squares, you will now create a triangle granny square, if that makes sense. You will start off by creating a slip knot. You will chain up 4, slip stitch the first stitch, first chain there, to form a ring. Chain up 2, this will not count as a stitch. You will insert 3 double crochets into the center of the ring there. Chain 2, insert 3 more double crochets into the center of the ring. Chain 2, insert 3 double crochets into the center of the ring. Chain 2, skip the first chain 2s there, and then in the first stitch you will slip stitch. You will fasten off, because I'm going to be switching colors. As you can see, we only did 3 sections because we're creating a triangle. I attached a new piece of yarn. I'll pull through to get it started and chain up 2. This will not count as a stitch. I'll insert 3 double crochets into that space there. I will chain up 2 and then insert 3 more double crochets into the same space. You're creating a corner. Chain up 1, skip the next 3 stitches. In the next space, you'll create a corner again, so you'll insert 3 double crochets, chain 2, insert 3 double crochets. Chain 1, again you're going to skip the next 3 stitches and create another corner there, and then I will meet you back. Okay, so I went all the way around the triangle here and I chained up 1. I'm going to skip the last 3 stitches and then slip stitch the first stitch to close this round. Then I will fasten off, pull through to secure, and then I will create another round. So I will attach another color here. Okay, so I touched a new color. I'm just going to pull through to get started and chain up 2. Again, this doesn't count as a stitch. You'll insert 3 double crochets into that corner space. Chain up 2 and then insert 3 more double crochets into the same space. It's quite similar to the granny square I just showed you, only there's 3 sides. But I'm still going to run through it so you guys can get the gist of it. Chain 1, skip through the next 3 stitches, and then in the space there, you will insert 3 double crochets. You'll repeat that sequence all the way around, and then I'll meet you back once you are finished. And then I will just slip stitch the first chain to close the round. Fasten off, and pull through to secure. You will create 2 of these, just 2. Okay, so to make the body of the sweater, we will attach the main color that you will be using to a corner of the granny square. You will pull through to get started, chain up 2. This does not count as a stitch. You'll insert 3 double crochets. Chain 1, skip the next 3 stitches. In the next space, you'll insert 3 double crochets. Chain 1. Again, you'll skip the next 3 stitches. In the next chain 1 space, you'll insert 3 double crochets. Chain 1, and then in this corner, you'll create a corner by inserting 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then inserting 3 more double crochets into the same space. You'll repeat this all the way around, and I'll meet you back once you get to this corner here. Okay, so we basically just did another row of the granny square, but we left this half open and then these 2 corners unfinished. So we're going to be using the join as you go method so that you don't have to sew in a million ends at the end. So we will chain up 2, and then we will grab a new granny square. It's going to be a little bit difficult to show you guys, but you're going to be, since you worked along this edge right here, you're going to be snaking back up and then going around like that. So you will insert 3 double crochets into the corner on the new granny square. Then you'll go back on the old granny square and slip stitch that first chain 1 space. Then you'll go back onto the new granny square, insert 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space. Then you'll go back onto the old one. See that next chain 1 space? You will slip stitch. And you see how that joins it like that? That's what you're going to be looking for. Then you'll go back on the new one, insert 3 double crochets. You're always going to be working into the spaces, not the stitches. Then you'll go back onto the old one and slip stitch the chain 1 space. Again, you'll go back to the space over on the new one and insert 3 double crochets. Chain up 1. You chain up 1 on the corners, and then you will go over to the corner, slip stitch, chain 1, go back to the corner and insert 3 double crochets. I hope that wasn't too confusing for you guys. You can go back and rewind and relook. Okay, and then you'll just finish it off by chaining 1, inserting 3 double crochets all the way around, doing a corner, and then I'll meet you back again at this corner like we did over here. Okay, so I crocheted all the way around. So this is what this should be looking like right now. So you'll just repeat that until you have a line of 4. You'll just chain 2 and then go over here, chain double crochet 3 and then slip stitch back and forth. Just like I showed you, you guys can rewind like I said. So you'll just be snaking up again, going down, snaking up, and then I'll meet you back once you have a line of 4. Okay, so now that you have a line of 4, you will just crochet all along this edge here. Okay, so I'm at the corner here and I'm just gonna chain up 2, slip stitch this chain 2 space, chain up 2 more, and then continue on this edge by double crocheting 3 into the space. Then you will just continue with the granny stitch here all along this edge, and then I will meet you over here at this corner. Okay, so I'm at the corner here. I crocheted all along this edge, and instead of chaining 2 and then slip stitching, we will chain 1 and then do a half double crochet into the first stitch. Okay, and now we will start attaching granny squares along this edge. So to do that, we will chain up 2, turn our work kind of like that, grab a new square here, and then you're just going to attach it the same way. So you'll go over here to the corner, insert 3 double crochets, then you will go back over to the old square here and slip stitch in that chain 1 space. Then you'll go back to the new granny square, insert 3 double crochets into the chain 1 space, and you'll go back and forth like I showed you earlier. So you'll finish that one out and then I'll meet you back once you have finished. Okay, so I went back and forth along this edge here, so now I'm at the corner. So since we're at the corner, we will chain up 1, and then we will come over here and see where we kind of joined right there. That's where we will slip stitch. Chain up 2. And then for like this row, you'll just be attaching this side of the granny square. So we're going to grab another new one. And we'll just work it in the same way. We will insert 3 double crochets into the corner here. So you'll insert 3 double crochets there, and then you'll slip stitch back and forth. You'll go back and forth like you did over here. And I will meet you back once you have attached all 4 to this main piece here. Okay, so I'm at the end here, and this is how your piece should be looking. Kind of like 4 attached only on one side. And now I'm at the corner over here. I chained up 1, and then I will slip stitch the corner, chain up 1 again, and then now we will work back along the edge here that we haven't finished. So we will insert 3 double crochets into the corner, chain up 1, skip the next 3 stitches, insert 3 double crochets into the next space. And this is really repetitive, so I'm not going to go through this with you guys because you should know the stitch by now. It's just chain 1, insert 3 double crochets into the space, and then, you know, of course the corners, you insert it 3 double crochets twice with a chain 2 in between. So you will just do the granny square stitch all along this edge, go along here, and then I will meet you back at this corner. Okay, so I crocheted all along or all around this square here. I'm at the corner. So what I will do is chain up 1. Set this back down so it's easier for you guys to see. And then you will just slip stitch right here where we joined. So you see right there, you'll just slip stitch that. Okay. So that's what it will look like, and then you'll just chain up 1 again. And then you will insert 3 double crochets back onto this new square here. So you will insert 3 double crochets into that corner. Okay. Then you'll go back over here into that chain 1 space and slip stitch. And you guys should know how to do that by now because we've done it a few times. So you'll go up along this edge, make sure to go back and forth and attach them. And then you will just snake all along in and out until you have finished all 3 squares right here, and then I will meet you back. Okay, so I snaked back and forth, and now I'm over here, and I'm just going to finish it out and then slip stitch the chain 2 to close. So I crocheted along this edge here, and now I'm back over here, and I will just chain up 2 and then slip stitch this chain 2 space to close. Okay, so I will fasten off and then pull through to secure. And now we will attach the same color of yarn to, you're gonna go 1 square in at wherever we joined right here. So you're going to attach it right there at this corner. Okay, so now that you have joined a new piece of yarn about 1 square in at this corner, you will grab a new square and you will attach it going that way. So we will pull through to get it started. Chain up 2. Grab the new square here at the corner. We will insert 3 double crochets. And then we will go back onto this square here, that chain 1 space, and we will slip stitch. So since I've already showed you guys how to do that, you will just attach 2 more right here. So it'd be 1, 2. Then I'll zoom out so you guys can see. So you're just gonna have 2 there off in the middle there. And I will meet you back once you have attached those. You will just go up straight and just attach this side of the granny squares. Okay, so I attached the sides of the granny squares. And now, like I said, I'll just go back through and go in and out of the squares like we did in the previous row. Then I will meet you back once you have done that. Okay, so this is what your piece should be looking like. Now you'll take 2 more granny squares and you will do the same thing, but you will do it on the side. So you'll have kind of like a cross situation, and you'll attach it the same way, and I'll do that off camera because it is repetitive, and I will meet you back. Okay, so now that you have attached 2 squares on either side and created this kind of crisscross situation, you will make another one of these. This whole thing, you'll make 2. So you're gonna have 2 crosses, and I will meet you back once you have done that. Also, if you need to make this a bigger size, what you will do is instead of the initial like 4, you will do 5 or even 6 if you need it. So then you'll have like a 2x5, if that makes sense. And then on the sides, instead of adding 2 squares, you'll add 3. So then it would be like 5 and then 3 in the middle, if that makes sense. Okay, so now that you have 2 panels here, you will face right sides together, and you will sew up the shoulder pieces. So it'd be this edge and then this edge. This area will be open for the neck hole, and then these will be the armholes over here, and then this is the body bottom portion of it. So once you attach these 2 together just by slip stitching or sewing, I will meet you back. Okay, so I attached my piece of yarn at the corner here. I will pull through to get started, and then I will slip stitch these 2 panels together. You will do that all along this edge here, and then fasten off at the corner. Okay, so I just got done slip stitching this shoulder right here, so I'm just going to do the same for the other shoulder. So I just got done slip stitching these shoulders, so I'm going to flip it inside out, like so. And then we are going to use the triangles that we made earlier. So we have the shoulder right here. See how it's slip stitched? So right here is where we will attach a new piece of yarn. Once you have your new piece of yarn attached, you will just pull through to get started. Chain up 2. You will grab your triangle here. Sorry I didn't sew on my ends. Hopefully they don't bother you guys to see what's going on. Then you will go to the corner here. You will insert 3 double crochets. You'll go back through on this other granny square and you'll slip stitch. You'll go all the way up the side here. Then you will chain up 2, slip stitch this corner here, chain up 2 again, then insert 3 double crochets into that corner again, and now you will go along this edge and you will not attach it to this side. So you will chain up 1, skip the next 3 stitches, insert 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, skip the next 3 stitches, insert 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. Chain 1, skip the next 3 stitches, and then you'll insert 3 double crochets into the corner space there. Okay, so now you're going to kind of flip it over, fold this triangle in half like that, see how it's coming in like that. You will just fold it in half to where it's like a straight line here, curved out like that, and straight in like that. Now you'll chain up 2, slip stitch this corner here, chain up 2 again, and then you will work along this edge, going back and forth, attaching these 2 edges. So you'll insert 3 double crochets into the corner here. Go back to this square and slip stitch that first, or the available chain 1 space there. Then you'll go back to the triangle and insert 3 double crochets into the next chain 1 space. Then you'll go back to the other square here, slip stitch that chain 1. You'll finish out this row. There's 1 more, so you'll insert 3 double crochets. Slip stitch the next space there. Now we're at the corner. So what you'll do is insert 3 double crochets into the corner there. Chain 1, slip stitch the corner on this granny square over here, and then you'll chain up 2, slip stitch that first chain there, or that first stitch. Okay, and then you'll fasten off. So I hope that wasn't too complicated. It's kind of hard to shoot here. So that's what your piece should be looking like. That's your neck hole, shoulder, and then over here you'll have that triangle there. And then that will be the armhole. And this will go kind of under the armpit on your side. So you can rewind and rewatch that, and then you'll just do the same thing for the other side. You'll attach the other triangle, and then I'll meet you back once you have finished. So now that you have added both your triangles on either side, this is what your armholes should be looking like. And I will show you quickly on my mannequin. Okay, so I created another 2x4. I showed you guys how to do this in the beginning, and I'll leave the timestamps above. So you will just go back and rewatch that, and then create another 2x4 granny rectangle here. You're actually going to create 2 of these all together. Okay, so now that you have 2, you'll put 1 to the side for now. And what you will do, you'll leave a lot of yarn because you will be folding this in half. You'll fold you will fold the right sides together like a hot dog. And then you will just slip stitch up along this side here because this will be the sleeve. So you'll just slip stitch along this edge. Whenever I slip stitch, I like to take the inner side of this stitch. See that V? You're just going to take the inner side. And then for this side of the V, you're just going to take the other inside so that the seam isn't so thick. If you take the whole stitch, it'll be a really thick seam. So this kind of makes it a little smaller, if you will. So I'm just going to go across this whole edge here, essentially creating a tube, and I will meet you back. Okay, so I just slip stitch along this edge here. So what we will do is turn it inside out. You are also going to leave a long strand here because we are going to be slip stitching this onto the body of the sweater that we already created. So we'll just kind of turn that inside out. And now you will grab the body of the sweater. Okay, so we have the body of the sweater, and then you are just going to go to the armhole here. And then you will take the sleeve we just created, and then you will line it up along this edge here like that, and then you will slip stitch it on. You can use stitch markers to kind of hold together these spaces here until you get all the way around it. That's how it helps me. Or a little trick is you can use bread ties, so I will show you how to do that. Okay, so I brought it up closer so that you guys can see. You will just take a bread tie here, and then I like to put the seam on the seam. So see, like when there's a seam right there, seam, so you'll line up the seams. And then you'll just stick one half of the bread tie through there and then the other half through here. This is just to help you kind of sew it or slip stitch it on, because so that it won't like kind of slide everywhere. So you'll just kind of go around the sleeve and attach some bread ties to keep it secure. So you'll go all the way around. So after you kind of bread tied it on there, this is what it should be looking like, the neck hole, and then it comes out to the sleeve here. So I'm just going to sew them together. And if you are slip stitching, I would have all this turned inside out so that the your seam from the slip stitch is on the inside. But I'm going to be sewing, so you can't really tell from either side. Alright, so I'm just going to take a needle and thread it through. So you'll just sew this all together and go all the way around the arm. Along the way, just taking out the bread ties. Alright, then you'll just go all the way around, and I'll meet you back once you have sewn on the arms. Okay, so I have one sleeve attached, and what you'll do is just go to the other sleeve and do the same thing. Okay, so now that both of your sleeves are attached, I'm just going to add some added length. So I'm just going to attach a piece of yarn here at the seam. Okay, so I will pull through to get it started. Chain up 2, this does not count as a stitch. So since we are where the 2 squares joined, I'm just going to create 1 double crochet in this space. Yarn over, go through this space, yarn over, pull through. Go through this space, yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, pull through 3. Yarn over, pull through 2. And then you'll put another double crochet into this space. So then it just looks like it's 3 stitches. Then I will chain 1, skip these 3 stitches, and then in the chain 1 space I will insert 3 double crochets. We're just doing the granny stitch. and you're going to repeat that all the way around. Okay, so I crocheted around the sleeve here, and I did my last chain 1, skip my last 3 stitches there, and then in that first double crochet I will slip stitch. Then I will chain up 4. In the space right here I will chain 3 or double crochet 3 into that chain 1 space. And again, you're just going to chain 1, skip the stitches, and then in the next space insert 3 double crochets. You're going to go all the way around. Okay, so I'm at the end here. I'm going to insert 3 double crochets into that last space. Then I will slip stitch the 3rd chain to close the round. So you'll repeat that 2 rows there until your desired length, and then you're finished with your sweater.